fellow gamers, it's your boy MtG here, back with another Magic video, and today we are going to be playing an Azorius Aggro deck. It's a very interesting build, and the way I built this, I actually matched up against an opponent who was running, I think, a similar build. I don't know exactly what they were doing, but I was like, oh, that's kind of an interesting archetype. Let me see what I can put together here. And so what we're doing is, essentially, it's life weenies, right? So we're running Ajani's Pridemate and Healer's Hawk, and etc. Heliod, Suncrown, stuff that gets us value out of gaining life, but we're not doing it in the normal way. So a lot of the times you're going to see, what is it, Mentor? Not Mentor, whatever it's called. I'll find, oh, don't worry, I'll find it. The creature I was thinking of is, well, first of all, you have Daxos, Blessed by the Sun, who says, whenever another creature you control enters the battlefield or dies, you gain 1 life, which is really an excellent way to play life weenies, especially if you're going mono white, because you're gaining life not only when something enters the battlefield, but also when a creature gets killed, you're gaining life, so that should trigger a lot of stuff. So he's really nice with Heliod and Ajani's Pridemate, and also the creature I was thinking of is... No, Impassioned Orator. Gosh, sorry. Impassioned Orator, so it says when another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. So same thing as Daxos, essentially, but you can run this and Daxos or other stuff, small creatures, alongside Ajani's Pridemate, and Resplendent Angel in order to make your creatures bigger and run through your opponent, essentially. But what we're doing instead is we're running life linkers, so Alseid of Life's Bounty, Healer's Hawk, and Hushbringer. And so you'll notice that Hushbringer also says creatures entering the battlefield or dying don't cause abilities to trigger, so that means we can't really play Impassioned Orator or Daxos Blessed by the Sun. So instead, we are playing other ways to gain life. First of all, yes, life linkers, so this has lifelink, lifelink, but we're also playing a bunch of planeswalkers alongside Interplanar Beacon. So we have ways to gain life from several sources, right? So Teferi is just a great planeswalker, but if we play him and he's gaining us life and making our creatures bigger and also bouncing one of our opponent's permanents, that's really helpful tempo. So Teferi is really super good tempo. We could probably be running 4 of him in this deck and cut out 1 Gideon, but Gideon is also great because he functions as a creature. He can give one of our creatures lifelink, which is good. If we have an Ajani's Pridemate that's big, we gain a ton of life that way. He can make our creatures indestructible, give him vigilance, etc. So he's very useful as well. We're also playing 3 Heliod Suncrown, which is a very good mid-game closer because he's going to be a big indestructible creature and also is going to be putting counters on stuff when we gain life. Other planeswalkers, excuse me. So Dovin, Grand Arbiter. This isn't something you see very often, but he's very good with this deck because his -1 says create a 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature token with flying, and you gain 1 life. So not only do we gain life with that ability, we're also putting an extra creature on the field, and then we can use his +1 it says, until end of turn, whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you put a loyalty counter on Dovin, Grand Arbiter. So that's a way to get him to his ultimate quickly, and so if we use his -7, we look at the top 10 cards of our library, put 3 of them into our hand and the rest on the bottom of our library in a random order. So it's a good way to get some card advantage over our opponent that way. It's most of the time we're not going to be using him that way. We're just going to be using his -1 to make extra creatures and gain some life. And then we have Ajani, Strength of the Pride, which is very good in life weenie decks. And this is the biggest card we're playing, 4 mana. You'll also notice a couple other things here. Grateful Apparition. This is one that I was wondering what else to put in this 2 slot because I knew we needed something. And I think Grateful Apparition is it. It's been pretty good for me so far because we have Heliod Suncrown and we can use Heliod to put counters on multiple different creatures, whether those are Hushbringers, Healer's Hawks, or Grateful Apparitions. When this hits the opponent, we proliferate. And so not only are we going to be putting extra +1/+1 counters on our stuff, we're going to be putting extra loyalty counters on our planeswalkers, getting them to their ultimates faster. So that's a really excellent way to do that. The only problem is it costs 2, comes in as a 1/1, so it's pretty vulnerable. But you could say the same thing about Ajani's Pridemate, to be fair. Then we're running 1 single copy of Dawn of Hope. I had originally actually been running some Dream Trawlers in here because Dream Trawler is a flyer with lifelink and really it draws us extra cards and etc. and it's hard to kill. But the problem with this is obviously that it's way more mana intensive than anything we have in the deck. We have a 4 mana Planeswalker, 2 of those, but the rest are 3 and under, and this is 6 mana. So I was using it as kind of a closer, but it just doesn't really fit. It only ever comes out in like a control matchup or other mid-range grindy matchups, and it just isn't quite good enough. I think I wanted extra stuff to win early. So Dawn of Hope gets us a little bit of card advantage whenever we gain life, which is going to be a lot, hopefully. And there are going to be occasions when we play a bunch of small creatures out. We have a lot of ways to gain life, but not ways to draw cards, and so Dawn of Hope is really helpful there. And essentially, if we get board wiped, we can create tokens with this and build our hand and our board back up using this. Most of the time, we're not going to be making tokens with this. We're just going to be, when we gain life, drawing cards. So that's actually a pretty nice ability, but we only want one of them probably. I think I've really covered everything. We're also playing, so let's look at the mana base here. 22 lands, 4 Hallowed Fountains, 2 Tranquil Coves because it's a life gain land. I've gone back and forth on whether to play this or not because it is a dual land and occasionally we have some issues if we start off with islands, etc. to actually get our mana fixed right so that we can play everything we want to. But it's also a tap land, which is kind of anti-aggro, but it does gain us life, so if we draw this in the late game or even on like turn 3, it's actually a pretty helpful land to drop in to gain us some life. And then we're playing 4 Fabled Passages and 4 Interplanar Beacons. And again, the reason I wanted to play Tranquil Cove is because Interplanar Beacon doesn't really do anything for us in terms of mana costs for our small creatures. So if we start with Interplanar Beacon, that's a real big bummer, and occasionally that will happen and kind of screw us over. So, do what you will with this deck. It's cool. It's a cool archetype. I think it has potential to be good, but I haven't really worked a ton on, figuring out how to play it or how to build it super precisely. I've done a little bit of play testing with it, but not too much. And it's done okay so far. I think the tweaks that I've been making have been improving it slowly but surely. And hopefully we can grab some wins here in the ranked queue. So, yeah. All right, Moldred. Okay, this is sort of what I was talking about. We have some mana issues occasionally, but this is a decent starting hand. So we can shock this in for Healer's Hawk and then get a Grateful Apparition on turn 2. Hopefully we can get a land by turn 3 to play Gideon or Teferi. So we'll keep this. Okay. Oh, Healer's Hawk versus Healer's Hawk. So let's shock this in, go Healer's Hawk. They're probably going to expect us to be playing Azorius Flyers here. Alseid of Life's Bounty. So they don't have an Ajani's Pridemate yet, which is important. Okay, we're not going to block that. I feel like they are tricking us here. Probably have a combat trick of some sort, or just wanting to trade that, and we don't really want to trade that right now. Okay, another Alseid of Life's Bounty. That's kind of rough. We're going to attack to gain the life back. And then go Grateful Apparition. So hopefully we get a land to... I'll probably play Heliod next turn if we get another land. Fingers crossed, though. Fingers crossed. We need that third land really badly. We do technically have a play with Alseid of Life's Bounty, but that's... Oof. Oof. That's rough. I'm going to not block for now. I'm fine with them gaining a bunch of life right there. Okay. So we will pay 2 life, go Heliod Suncrowned. I'm going to attack. We want to... Wait, I want to make sure I order this right. I think this is the right order. I can never quite remember. Yeah, so we'll go do this, put a counter on that, and then proliferate. So, yes. We get this to a 3/3, which is very good. That's why we do this little combo. That's very nice. And then we can play a Teferi next turn, which is... Oof. Okay, this is going to get really big really fast. We're not too concerned with it, but we don't love it. Yep, they gain a lot of life. So we definitely need to bounce that with Teferi. We go to 8, which is a lot lower than I want, so we probably have to start holding up Healer's Hawk as a blocker. So we got to go Teferi here, unfortunately. Though they... Ooh. I just realized they can sacrifice Alseid of Life's Bounty to give this... protection. But we're going to bounce it anyway. We still get the card draw. Hopefully we get a land.
No, I am not making this up as I go.
Okay, not the land I was looking for. Oh, they actually let it bounce. That's interesting. Okay, so we're going to attack here because we gain the life back. And the Healer's Hawk is going to get bigger. So yes, this is in the right order. We'll actually put a counter on Grateful Apparition now so we can start proliferating multiple counters here. Submit 3. So that forces them to attack Teferi with Linden instead of just one of their 1/1s. And then we also have another Teferi. Wait a second. Does Gideon... Oh, Gideon gives me Heliod next turn? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Gideon activates Heliod, which is really nice. So I'm wondering, I think we outscale them in terms of like our power levels. Obviously, Ajani's Pridemate is going to be an issue, but if we get our own Ajani, we should be fine. Okay, yeah, they're going to attack Teferi with 1 creature. So they're going to take Teferi to 1, which is interesting, instead of killing it, which kind of makes sense. It's not a bad idea. Yep, this is going to be a big old creature.
Enough.
Ooh. Okay. So let's go Tranquil Cove. I'm going to put a counter on Heliod here. And then play Gideon. I'll actually put another counter on Heliod.
This is a prime day for justice.
I'm going to give Grateful Apparition. Yeah, I'll give Grateful Apparition lifelink.
I believe in you, friend.
I'm going to not attack with Heliod because we have to have a blocker for their creatures to make them at least think twice about blocking. And this gives us a lot of value. We only proliferate once. Yeah, we'll put another... Make Heliod bigger and bigger. Submit 5. And then we'll go Alseid of Life's Bounty. So Heliod is big enough to block their Ajani's Pridemate if they... Well, actually, no, he's not, because they'll gain a ton of life when they attack. Oof. Yeah, and there's a Gideon. So they can give their probably Ajani's Pridemate lifelink. That's a little problematic. So they can't really do a whole lot in terms of attacking. They can make something indestructible and attack with it.
Prepare for battle.
Oh, they're attacking with everything. Okay, so they make Linden indestructible. Okay, they're gonna pop Teferi, which is fine. I'm actually considerably more concerned with keeping Gideon alive. So she is indestructible. We'll block there and there, actually. Oh, wait, no, I can't do that because I need to block Ajani. We'll put another counter on Healer's Hawk because we're going to need to gain a lot of life next turn. Okay, that's good. So let's see what we can do with this here. Let's go Teferi. We'll put a counter on... Actually, we'll put another counter on Heliod. He needs to be bigger.
Let's slow this down.
We'll do that. We'll bounce that. So I'm assuming they're going to sacrifice... All... Oh, no, they let that happen. Very interesting. Okay. I'm actually going to do this. I'm going to do that. I think they're going to sacrifice Alseid of Life's Bounty. Oh no, what? That's really weird that they're doing that. I'm very surprised.
Let me lead the charge into darkness.
We'll give you Vigilance so that I can attack with my big boy. Big boy. And then we're actually going to attack all because we gain enough life here that we're not at risk of dying and they can't really block, so we'll put another counter on Heliod. He needs to keep getting bigger so they can't just attack and kill me with their Ajani's Pridemate. I'm thinking they were keeping their Alseid of Life's Bounty to give protection to Linden if they need to, but I think we've pretty much won at this point. Like, there's not a ton they can do unless they have a board wipe like Shatter the Sky or something. Or Giant Killer, okay. I mean, that kind of works. Yeah, Giant Killer can definitely be problematic for me. Okay, so they killed Teferi. They keep Gideon off of 6, which is good.
Bring it on.
Ooh, that makes Heliod not a creature anymore. Okay, but I can Dawn of Hope here, which is excellent. Ooh, not what I meant to do. Shoot. I meant to use Gideon first, and I passed to combat, because I'm a dum-dum. Yeah, we'll just do that. Because I'm a moron. But I can use Heliod's ability to give one of my creatures lifelink. Yeah, I messed up with Gideon. I meant to give Vigilance to Heliod so I could still attack with him. Which would actually have put a lot of pressure on my opponent, and I just totally punted that, so that's great. We do get to still... oh wait, we want to target... Probably not Gideon, probably Grateful Apparition, actually. Yeah, we'll pay 2. And we draw land, that's good. Great. I'll play Interplanar Beacon. Shoot, yeah. Feeling dumb. Feeling really dumb.
Share in my light.
So now they can just use Giant Killer to tap my stuff. Oh, and they concede. Okay, well, even though I sort of punted, we still won that game. Because we scale better than, I think, most Life Weenie decks. Hey, we're gold now. Yeah, I still think we scale better than most life Weenie decks because we have more tempo and ways to, like, we have a lot of other ways to gain life than just creatures entering the battlefield. Though they were using Linden, which is a good way to gain life and makes your Ajani's Pridemate very strong. Eesh. Yeah, I guess I keep. Oof. Okay, I'm gonna actually shock this in and pray that we draw another land for turn 2. And it's mono red. Okay. No blocks, obviously. Yikes. Okay, well, it's Fabled Passage time, unfortunately. Okay, Runaway Steamkin. No blocks. We take the damage. Activate that. Get us a, not an island, a plains. And of course. We actually attack with both because we need Ajani's Pridemate to be a 4/4, not a 3/3, because there's too many ways they can kill him if he's a 3/3. So we just do that. And unfortunately, we don't have a land to activate Alseid of Life's Bounty to protect Ajani's Pridemate, which is kind of the whole reason we have him. But, you know. Okay, 10th Street Dodger. So we essentially just have to outpace them in terms of life gain. Like, they run out of steam pretty early. Okay, and they concede. So there you go. I mean, we definitely do very well against Mono Red. Like, it's a super good matchup for us unless they can kill our important stuff really early. Like, if they'd had a shock to play on Ajani's Pridemate like immediately before he got counters on him, then they could have had a chance. But we got there just a little bit faster. Gosh, look at my hairs. I'm very self-conscious about my hair. Nick XRB. Ugh. Again with the Fabled Passage start. Rough. Okay, I'm gonna still keep though because I'm greedy. We're gonna Fabled Passage into a plains immediately. Okay. We're going to take a little risk here. Ajani's Pridemate is a big risk, but I want to have him out so that I can play Dovin next turn and then gain some life with it and put a counter on Ajani's Pridemate. Oh, they're stuck on one land? Seriously? That sucks. So Dovin is a good play here. We go, yeah, we gain a life. And I think they're going to concede. I mean, what can they do, really? Oh, they got their second land, though. They can kill Dovin, which doesn't really set me back all that much. It's just kind of like a, meh. Weaselback Redcap. Well, that's interesting. If they attack, we block here. Yeah, I know they do kill Dovin, but this is a good trade. Like, we definitely get rid of their Scorch Spitter because that becomes a lot of damage later on in the game. I'll go to Teferi. We need to draw a card here. I can bounce Weaselback.
Time for plan B. As soon as I think of it. That's more like it.
Yes, perfect. That's exactly what we were looking for. So I still attack. We take him to 14. And then I can play Healer's Hawk. So they have to get probably a third land in order to really do anything. I don't care a ton whether Teferi stays alive or not. Okay, they did get a third land. So they've actually curved out in their lands really well. Teferi can die, but I need to keep Heliod alive. Heliod is actually more important. Okay. Torch Courier, 10th Street Dodger, a lot of little haste creatures. Right, they just try to kill Teferi here. Seems like the thing to do. Make that unblockable. Oh, nope, they're just... Okay. No blocks, that's fine with me. I'll take all that damage because we're good. Like, we're fine. Oof, Gideon is great. But I think we want Heliod first. Yeah, because when we play Gideon next turn, Heliod actually becomes a creature again, so... And we've taken him to 10, we have 20 life, and a 2/2 lifelink flyer. They could kill Healer's Hawk for sure. Okay, nope. And light up the stage. Okay. They don't get a land. Oh, I could totally play Ajani. Yeah, we're gonna go Ajani Strength of the Pride. Make another Ajani's Pridemate. And then attack. And they have to block or they die. And they die. That's game against Mono Red. A Mono Red that got a pretty bad start and looked like kind of a budgety build. Like they're playing more budget creatures than you normally see in a Mono Red. But that's fine with me. Anytime I beat Mono Red, I feel pretty good about myself. I feel pretty good. Alright, this is probably going to be the last game. I'm kind of actually hoping we lose, so you can see a matchup that we lose against with this deck. I mean, it's a good deck, but it's performing very well right now. Okay, this is solid. This is a good hand. I don't like having two Ajanis, but I'm going to keep the hand anyway. Okay, looks like we could have Mono Red again. Okay, Gruul. Growth Chamber Guardian. You don't see that very often these days. Let's do yeah, we'll go Island, I guess. Get our Grateful Apparition out on the field. As I said, it's pretty vulnerable, so they may just kill it here. If they have a Domri's Ambush, that's actually a very good play for them, because they can put a counter on Growth Chamber Guardian. Yeah, no blocks. We take the damage. Okay. Gruul Spellbreaker. Yikes. Okay. If we don't get some lifelink pretty quickly... Okay. We do have some amount of lifelink. I'm going to play Heliod here. And then I'm going to attack because we need the Heliod to gain us some life next turn with either Ajani's Strength of the Pride or Gideon Blackblade. Or no, Heliod doesn't gain us life, but he gets us value for gaining life. And how quickly do we lose here? Pretty quick, because that's going to be 10 damage, 12 damage next turn. Okay, we can go Fabled Passage. Woof. Okay, get me a Plains. This gains us 1 life. We put a counter on Grateful Apparition. We can gain life. Nope. That doesn't get activated yet. This doesn't have a mana cost, so it doesn't trigger Heliod. I think we're done. I think we lose. I think we lose to this deck. We gain 1 life there. Put a counter on Grateful Apparition. We give it... Does it matter? I think we just die. Yeah, no matter what we do, we die. If we give it a good game. That's GG. Well, I got my wish.
Your light will cleave the darkness.
we lost. I got my wish. So the only thing that I could have done is I could have made this. This could have become a 2-2. Wait, a 3-3, and I kept it as a blocker, but I still would have died. So that's game. Ooh, they get a Gideon from me. Yikes. That was about to get out of hand really quickly. Technically, probably, it really got out of hand immediately. Turn 4 Embercleave on a Gruul Spellbreaker is really solid. So, well, that's the deck, guys. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. We don't always beat aggro. If we had a better life gain start, I think we could have sustained longer. Like if we started with the Healer's Hawk on turn 1 last game instead of Grateful Apparition turn 2, because this doesn't do much for us unless we've already gained life. Like even a Hushbringer would have been nice on turn 2. But yeah, not a bad deck at all. I suggest if you have a lot of this stuff, it's pretty budget friendly in the early stuff. Like you don't have to play Giant Killer. You can definitely just play Alseid of Life's Bounty, Healer's Hawk, and maybe another 1-drop lifelinker like Beloved Princess, or even a Charmed Stray wouldn't be that bad. Like 4 copies of Charmed Stray wouldn't be terrible. But yeah, like I think Grateful Apparition is pretty good in this deck, but it's not good as an only play. I probably should have mulliganed in the last game. And then, yeah, most everything else in the top end is like rare or mythic rare, so it's kind of tough to build in terms of budget. But there are definitely other ways to build life weenies, but I think this is probably better than those. At least if you're matched up against a mono white life weenies, I think we come out on top because we have better tempo with Teferi and Gideon. So, yeah, let me know what you thought of this deck in the comments below. I'm really interested to see what you think. And if you liked it, be sure to drop a like on this video. If you're new to the channel, I welcome you. We enjoy having you here. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.